shall be free. We shall be free. Stand straight and walk proud, 'cause we shall be free.
Huge hit for Mr. Brooks back in 1992. We Shall Be Free, and considered a little bit controversial at the time in the world of country music. Fans in Ottawa are going to get to see Garth Brooks perform live at the beginning of April. 4 times. He sold out 3 shows already, has added a 4th. Music critic Roch Parisien says that fans are eager to see him after a hiatus of longer than a decade. He's also seeing a boom in interest in country music that goes well beyond Garth Brooks.
There's a new generation of country music stars, young people that are coming up, and that are merging country music not only with rock this time, but also with hip-hop and electronic dance music influences. So a good example of that is the Blues Fest has been tapping into that. More and more the last few years, there's been an increasing number of country artists, and predominantly young country artists, that they've been bringing in and, you know, even giving main stage performances to. I mean, I take the bus myself down to Blues Fest, and on the nights that have country headliners, those buses are filled with teenage kids wearing cowboy boots. And I have to admit, I was a little surprised at first, but it is definitely a trend among a segment of kids today.
Ottawa music critic Parisien. We wanted to take a bigger look at the popularity of country music in Ottawa these days. Ken Craig, promoter with Live Nation, who's brought many big acts to Ottawa over the years, including the Rolling Stones in 2005, is with me in studio. Hello there.
Hi, Alan.
Surprised by the Garth Brooks sellouts?
Actually, I'm not surprised at all. The dates that were being held at the Canadian Tire Centre actually been on hold for about 3 or 4 months. And 3 or 4 months ago, people at the Canadian Tire Centre asked me, how many shows do you think Garth can do here? And I said, easily 3. I said, could possibly do 4, and don't be surprised if you get into a 5th.
We should just remind people with Canadian Tire Centre, how many people are we talking about for one show?
It's 15,000 a show.
So that's, and you said, you told them 4 would probably be an easy...
Yeah, and without a doubt, I didn't even hesitate.
If they just asked you, how many more could we put in? How many shows do you think Garth Brooks could sell?
Well, when they stopped at 3, and they did call me and say, yeah, we ended up stopping at 3. I said, boy, that really surprises me. I said, I really thought that you'd get into a 4th, and I wouldn't be surprised if you did a 5th show, because First Ontario Place in Hamilton went on sale the week before Ottawa and did 5 shows in 2 hours.
Could he do 7?
I don't think you could do 7, no.
I'm just wondering what the extent, what the breakdown is. 5, you think 5 would do it?
I think 5 would do it here. And the reason I say that, Alan, is a lot to do with not only just his popularity and everybody loves the Garth Brooks, it's his ticket price. His ticket price with everything in, service charge, taxes, is under $80.
That was something, though, that he was pretty vocal about a while back, I think, was the idea of getting...
Well, yeah, people recall when I did 2 shows at that time, the Palladium, in 1997.
Remember when it was called the Palladium?
Tickets were $50.
Yeah. So there's obviously the fans that are there for him, and Roch Parisien said that he thought nostalgia was driving it because Garth Brooks hadn't toured in a long time. Is that an element of this?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking, as Garth is getting older and some of the artists are getting older, that I think you're seeing that a lot of people are saying, he hasn't toured in 19 years and he's coming back. Will this be his last tour? And with, a lot of the very famous celebrities passing away in the last 2 months in the music industry, a lot of people are saying, Jesus, I think I'll go. It'd be, what I'd love to know is how many people bought tickets for more than one show?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering.
It would be interesting.
And we also don't know how many are scalpers, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly, but I will tell you that Garth keeps a pretty good handle on it, because a lot of the shows now with Live Nation, a lot of the floor seats and the top seats, they're called paperless tickets now. So you buy a ticket, you cannot pick up that ticket until 3 o'clock on show day, and you have to have your credit card and your ID to get it, which is really an anti-scalping situation right now that we're going through.
And I don't want anybody to think that there is probably an element of this that is the Trisha Yearwood fan too. I don't want people to think that it's that Trisha has been left out of this combination. But we are also in a city that loves its country music. Why do you think Ottawa is such a hot market? This is not necessarily a new thing either. I mean, if you think back roots and country, we've got a pretty long tradition of this. But why are we still such a hot market for country music?
And Ottawa always has been a hot market. Back in the what I now call classic country of the the Vince Gills, the George Jones, we always did well. I was starting out at the time in the 80s, and those shows did well all the time. I remember I sold out Vince Gill at the Palladium, and at that time. And then what happened was in the 90s, it started around 89 actually, with Garth Brooks, Shania Twain, Brooks and Dunn. Yeah. That classic country kind of moved into country. And people started saying, "Hey, this is pretty good," and kind of sounds a lot like rock and roll to me. But then all of a sudden, in approximately 2007, 2008, you ended up getting the the Tim McGraws, the Jason Aldeans, the Luke Bryans, and they're selling out everywhere. And here's shows that are coming to the Canadian Tire Centre with 15 to 25 trucks full of sound and lights. Trust me, but back in the 80s, even when rock and roll was doing 7 or 8 trucks on a show, country was 1 truck. Having been to Nashville, gone to country shows there too, the fans for country music seem ready to spend in a different way than some genres of music. And I would extend that to, and feel free to dispute this with me, but that younger fans seem to be willing to spend more when it comes to the merch, when it comes to the tickets themselves, even though, as we were saying, Garth Brooks has kept these ticket prices down somewhat. Is there money behind country music fans, or that they're willing to generate for these acts? Alan, with that comment that you made, I actually think it has a lot to do with the country fans are real fans. They're not fans like today. When you see some artists that, I won't mention any names, but you see some artists and they're fans for 2 years, maybe 3 years. Country fans seem to follow that artist for 6-7 years. Look at Tim McGraw. Right. I mean, the guy's been around for 20 years and he's selling out everywhere. We own the Molson Amphitheater in Toronto. Tim McGraw played there last year. Sold it out.